Hey there, everybody. Darren Alf here from bicycletouringpro.com. Just wanted to do a live hangout with you and answer any questions that you guys had. I'm going over to YouTube really quick so I can see if you guys have any questions. Oops. Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to get my YouTube up so that I can see any of your questions that are coming in. All right, so how's it going, everybody? Okay, I'm here now. I have the chat open so I can see. No real plan today. I wasn't planning to do a YouTube live, but I just thought I had some time today, and I thought I'd say hello and answer any questions that you guys have. Hello, good morning. This is Eric from Climbeth Falls, Oregon. Eric, I don't know if you know this, but in 2005, I finished a long distance bike tour in Climbeth Falls, Oregon. I got on the train there and rode home. But I was on the road for like 2 months, and I was cycling across British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon. And I just happened to finish in Climbeth Falls, Oregon. The day that I finished, it was snowing and it was freezing cold. I had just come down from like the Crater Lake area. And yeah, it was a really good trip overall, but gosh, it ended so cold. Anyways, Justin says, howdy. Alexandra, hello. Eric, where are you right now? I'm in Southern California. I'm staying at my parents' house right now for the holidays. So yeah, that's what's going on here, getting ready for Christmas and that kind of a thing. My sister and her fiance are going to be coming in soon, and a bunch of my friends are coming in from Colorado and things like that. So it'll be good. Yeah. Richard says, hi, Darren. What is your next trip likely to be? Well, I'm not exactly sure. I'm still trying to plan out the rest of 2018. But I think my next trip is going to be up to the state of Oregon. I'm going to go up there probably in like March or April, something like that. So that'll be my next big trip. And I'll probably do some stuff locally here in Southern California before then, but that's my next big trip. And then, as some of you know at least, I just announced that I'm going to be participating in 2 bike tours this summer in Europe. I'm doing a guided group bike tour in Portugal, and I'm doing another guided group bike tour in Switzerland. And you guys, my Bicycle Touring Pro readers, are invited to join those trips. So if you want to learn more about how to go bicycle touring with me in Portugal or Switzerland this summer, just go to bicycletouring.com/bike-tours. If you just go to Bicycle Touring Pro and click on the Bike Tours button up at the top, there's all the info about the 2 bike tours that I'm doing in Europe this summer and how you can join the trips. So yeah, that'd be awesome. There's already been I think 10 people who have contacted me and said that they were interested in either of those 2 trips. So I think it'll be fun to, have a small group of Bicycle Touring Pro readers from all around the world on those 2 bike tours. Scottish B says, hello from Illinois. Hello from Finland. Hello from England. Hey, Jay here from Bayonne, New Jersey. Clay says, hey, Darren. Vegan consciousness. Have you ever done ice biking with studded tires? No, I've done quite a bit of winter bicycle touring. I've ridden across Ukraine and Slovakia and the Czech Republic in the wintertime, as well as some stuff here in the United States. But no, I've never actually needed studded tires for any of those trips, because I was traveling really long distances, and sometimes you were in the snow and sometimes you were on paved roads. So yeah, I've never really needed studded tires. I use them locally, like when I'm commuting. I live in Park City, Utah normally, which is a ski resort town. So when I'm there in the wintertime, then yeah, then I use studded tires, but I've never used them on like a long distance tour. And I've never actually seen anybody, even people doing winter cycling trips, I've never seen them with studded tires on their bike. They're usually non-studded, that I've seen at least. But of course, that depends on where you're going and what the trip is like and how long you're going to be on the road and all that sort of thing. A jolly hiker says, "Hello from the North Pole, ho, ho, ho." It's Santa Claus. Alexandra says, "Have you heard about Chris Froome's doping test? What do you think about the top cyclists that have won tours like the Tour de France? Are they doped?" I honestly don't know. I don't really follow that kind of thing. Sorry. It's outside of, you know, bicycle touring. What I do is very different from the Tour de France. I mean, I'm not like, when you're doing a long distance bike tour, a lot of times you're trying not to push yourself very hard because you're thinking about, like, I need to have the energy to get to the end of the day, and I also need the energy to get to the end of the tour. Whereas people who are racing will finish the day completely exhausted. And that's exactly what you don't want to do on a long distance bike tour. So it's two very different things. And yeah, I just don't know anything about it, to be honest. Oops, sorry, lost your comments here. Eric Hoffman says, "That's so cool. Would you ever come back to Climbeth Falls to do a ride?" Yeah, well, like I said, I'm planning, hopefully, to come back to Oregon this spring. I don't have an exact time yet. Like, I'm thinking like March or April before I leave for Europe. But yeah, something like that. I'm planning to be in Oregon. I don't know if I'll go to Climbeth Falls necessarily, but probably somewhere around the Eugene area for sure, and then maybe somewhere near Climbeth Falls or somewhere nearby there. So Scottish B says, "Self-supported would be better." I'm assuming you're talking about the guided bike tours I'm doing in Europe. Yeah, well, I am going to be doing some other trips in Europe this summer. I don't know where exactly yet, but when I make those plans, and those are going to be trips where I'm probably camping or staying in cheap hotels, like $20 hotel rooms. Once I make those plans, I'll announce that as well. But right now, there's just those two guided group bike tours, which are for people that want to stay in hotels and eat fancy foods and have a hot shower every day. It's for those types of people. And I'll probably be doing some self-supported bike trips in the future where we camp and just kind of travel as a small group by ourselves. But yeah, Ryan says, "Hello from Missouri. Hello from the UK. Hey, Magdalena is from Warsaw. From Poland, dziękuję bardzo. Will you cycle around Norway at some point? Love from Norway." Well, I've actually been to Norway 3 times previously. Every summer for the last 3 years, I've been to Norway. You got to go back and watch all of my videos. This username is Vetle77. All of my videos from Norway are up on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, type in Bicycle Touring Pro Norway, and there's like literally dozens of videos from my bike trips in Norway. So check that out. But yeah, I'd love to come back to Norway. It's probably one of my favorite places in the whole world for bicycle touring, and probably just one of my favorite places in the whole world. Jasper says, "Have you ever considered going vegan?" Yeah, of course. I've been a vegetarian my whole life. And I honestly eat like almost 99% vegan. I just have a little cheese every once in a while, and maybe like an ice cream cone, like 1 ice cream a month or something. But other than that, I'm pretty much a vegan, to be honest. Hello from Turkey. I'm reading all your comments, but they're going too fast. Hi from Slovakia. Hello from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Hello from Serbia. Hi from Costa Rica. Hello from Germany, Deutschland. Hey from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. Really like your Cali, Arizona videos that I've watched. Yeah, that's the other thing that I wanted to say is there's some new videos up now on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel if you haven't watched them already. The one I just posted 2 days ago was from a mini bike tour that I did in Prescott, Arizona. And like I say in the video, like one of the reasons I wanted to do this little like mini bike trip is because a lot of you guys, my readers from all around the world, say that you want to go on a bike trip, but you don't have time to go on like a month-long trip or a 3-month-long trip or a 14-month-long trip like I've done in the past. And so what I wanted to do with my trip across the American Southwest is show you that like you don't need necessarily a lot of time to conduct an incredible bicycle train adventure. That you, if you have 2 days, you can do like a pretty epic bike tour in that amount of time. Now it's a little bit different than say a 2-month-long trip or a 2-week-long trip. But still, if you have 2 days, 3 days, you can do an epic bicycle tour. So I encourage you to go and watch my latest video on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel. I think it's called Prescott Mini Bike Tour or something like that. But yeah, check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. So, and there's more videos to come. I have videos from the Grand Canyon, Monument Valley, Santa Fe, New Mexico, and some other places along the way, Buena Vista, Colorado, and things like that coming to the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel very, very soon. Eric says, when you are on your bike, how many miles do you do per day? Well, it depends. Depends on where I'm trying to go and how I'm feeling and what the terrain's like and that sort of a thing. My shortest day ever on the bike is probably like 10 miles or something like that, which would be 16 kilometers. My longest day on the bike was 150 miles, which is 250 kilometers or something like that. So it just depends. I would say, I think the ideal distance, honestly, especially if you're doing like road touring, the ideal distance would be like 60 to 80 kilometers. Maybe like 40, 30 to 50 miles, somewhere in there. That's kind of like what I think is the ideal distance. Some people like to do more than that. Some people like to do less, and that's totally fine. But yeah, it just depends on what your goals are, what the terrain's like, all that kind of thing. But yeah, this past summer I rode across Sweden, Finland, and Norway, and I think it was like a 2,000 kilometer bike trip that I did. And I was averaging like I think it was about 85 kilometers a day, which is honestly like right around that number that I feel is perfect. So yeah. Richard says, have you done a lot of miles on your new bike now? I'm interested in how the Gates belt has gone. Yeah, so earlier this year, I got a new Co-Motion Cycles Siskiyou touring bicycle, which is a really high-end touring bike. And this bike has a special gearbox built into the bottom of it. It's kind of like a motorcycle engine in the bottom of your bicycle, but it's not an engine. Like, you still have to pedal. It's just that all of the gearing is inside this metal box, inside the frame of your bicycle. And that means that there are no derailleurs on the bike. And there's no metal chain. There's just like a rubber and carbon fiber belt that drives the bicycle forward. So I've been using that bicycle now for 6-7 months. And honestly, the bike has been flawless. Like, nothing has gone wrong with it whatsoever. And the best part about it is that you basically don't have to maintain the bicycle in the way that you would if you had like a metal chain and derailleur and that sort of thing. Because when you have a regular metal chain, you got to clean that thing every day. You got to get all the dust and grime out of there. You got to lube it, once a week or whatever. And that all takes time, and it's kind of a hassle. You get your hands all dirty. Yeah, and that can especially be difficult to do when you're out on the road sometimes and you don't have access to, I don't know, some of the tools you might need, or, even just a sink to wash your hands in afterwards. So I think that's the part about the pinion gearbox on my new bicycle that I've enjoyed the most, is the fact that you just don't have to maintain it. I've just gone, and like never cleaned that thing in 7 months. And the only cleaning that I've done is like wiped it down with a towel or squirted it with my water bottle just to get the dust and dirt off a little bit. But other than that, yeah, you don't really have to do anything. I've written, some of you don't know, but if you go to bicycletouringpro.com right now, there's a search bar in the top, just type in the word pinion. It's P-I-N-I-O-N. Type in pinion in the search box, and I wrote a big long article with, I think it's called like 50 things you need to know about the pinion gearbox and the Gates carbon drive system. That article, it also has a podcast attached to it, so if you want to listen to it while you're driving or something, or doing work around the house or whatever, that would be a good thing to listen to if you're interested in learning about my bike and this new gearing technology that you're probably going to start seeing on more bicycles in the future. Once again, just go to bicycletrimmpro.com, type in pinion or pinion gearbox in the search bar, and you'll see my article there. Really detailed article where I interviewed the guy from Gates. He's like one of the, I don't know, people running that whole business that they put these gearboxes and belt drives onto bicycles all around the world. So yeah, check that out if you're interested for more information. Bruce says, hello from St. Louis, Missouri. Oldie Cycling says, Darren, I know I keep nagging you about this, but you must tour Scotland. No hedges, honest. Yeah, I want to go to Scotland. I just don't know when. And I want to have very good winter clothing. I've talked about this before, but I spent my last trip, I was in Ireland and the UK and the Isle of Man. I was there for about 2 months, and I was planning to go to Scotland afterwards for like another month. But it was just so cold and so wet after 2 months on the road. Every day was cold and wet. And I just said, I don't have it in me to go to Scotland and put up with another month of this terrible weather. So I ended up hopping on a plane and going to Romania, where it was hot and sunny and wonderful. And I don't regret that decision in the slightest, but I would like to go back and see Scotland at some point in the future for sure. Sorry, I'm AJ says, what's that painting behind you right here? That's a painting I bought in an art gallery several years ago. It's by an artist named Richard Salcido. And I have several of his artworks, actually. I don't know if you can see some of the others behind me here. But, oops, I just unplugged my computer. Yeah. Anyways, that's the painting. Shoot, hold on. Okay. Scottish B says, your bike is totally badass. I agree. It's like the Ferrari of touring bicycles. Ivaldez says, Darren, I want to meet you next summer on the road between your guided trips in Portugal and Switzerland. Maybe Bicycle Train Pro fan meetup will be organized. Yeah, I'm going to definitely organize some meetups when I'm in Portugal and Switzerland. Where do you live exactly? Yeah, I'll probably do something like that. Maybe in Porto, Portugal, and Geneva, Switzerland, perhaps, and maybe some other places in Europe as well next summer. Stay tuned. Once again, I will be posting like my full schedule for 2018 on the Bicycle Trim Pro website. So just go to bicycletrimmpro.com, click on that bike tours tab. You'll see everything there in the future. There's 2 tours there now, and there may be more coming soon. So Eric Hoffman says, I have been following you on your YouTube adventures for the last 2 years. You haven't given me so much inspiration. Thank you. I think you mean you have given me so much. I hope you mean you have given me so much inspiration. Hello from Idaho. I'm glad you liked my home state of New Mexico. Yeah. Beard Brothers says, I cycle barefoot a lot. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so I titled this video, what kind of shoes do you wear? And I did that because one of my Bicycle Trim Pro readers just messaged me like seconds before I started this live broadcast. His name is Carl, and he said, what kind of shoes do you wear cycling? And the answer is, it depends. Over the years, I've worn lots of different types of shoes. For the most part, however, I generally cycle in SPD, like mountain bike shoes, basically. And these types of shoes allow you to clip into the pedal, which allows you to not only power your bicycle when you're pushing down, but also when you're pulling up on the pedal. So you can actually pull up on the pedal and apply some force in that way too. The other reason I really like cycling in SPD pedals, not just for that reason, but also is because, especially if you're in like rocky or bumpy terrain, because your foot is clipped to the pedal, it's just way less likely that your foot's going to slip off and you're going to fall and hit your crotch on the top tube of your bicycle, which does happen if you've ever like ridden a mountain bike or something down really rocky terrain in flat pedals. Your foot can slip off and you can hurt yourself. So yeah, that's why I like wearing SPD pedals. However, SPD pedals are not good for walking around in off of the bike. I mean, they're good. You can go into a supermarket or something, but you wouldn't want to walk across Paris in them or something. So, which I've done. Like I walked across Washington, D.C. in a pair of SPD pedals on my like 3rd bike tour, and I couldn't walk the following day because my feet hurt so bad. So you don't want to do that. If you're planning to walk a lot on your bike tour, you need to either consider just riding in regular like hard-soled tennis shoes. I don't have my shoes with me, otherwise I'd show you, but like this shoe right here is a Nike running shoe, and this is what you do not want to wear on a bike tour because the sole of the shoe goes like this. You don't want that on a bike tour. You want a shoe that when you push back on this, like it doesn't move at all, like almost like a hiking boot or something like that. That's what I generally wear on my bike trips if I'm going to just ride in a regular like tennis shoe. So my last 2 bike tours that I did, I spent 3 months earlier this year in Colombia and Ecuador, and I wore just regular tennis shoes because I knew that I was going to spend a lot of time off of my bicycle, walking around town and stuff like that. And I also knew that I wanted to not pack 2 pairs of shoes, one to cycle in and one to walk around in. I just wanted to have 1 pair. So I was wearing basically like these low top hiking boots. That's what I was wearing. And then I liked those shoes so much that I took them this summer on my bike trip in Sweden, Finland, and Norway. And on that trip, I probably maybe should have been wearing SPD pedals because I was basically cycling every single day and not spending too much time walking around. But it was pretty darn comfortable just having the regular tennis shoes. So I didn't really notice, like, it took a couple days to get used to just riding in flat pedals, flat shoes. But yeah, after 3 days or so, I was pretty much used to it. So yeah, just like so many things with bicycle touring, it depends on what you're doing, what your goals are, that sort of thing. Like every bike tour is different, and it's not fair to suggest that there's like one way to do a bicycle tour, because a 2-day bike trip near your home is very different from a bike trip that takes you 2 years and takes you all the way around the world. They're 2 totally different things. So the bike you ride, the gear you use, the shoes you wear, the pedals you use, all of that kind of depends on where you're going, what you're doing, how long you're going to be on the road, and ultimately what your goals are. Speaking of that, that's like one of the things I talk about in my book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint. And I'm mentioning this because look right here. I've got all of these books. I don't know if you can see this, but that I'm mailing out just for today. Those are Bicycle Touring Blueprint. That pile is really heavy, by the way, because this book is like a massive textbook that teaches you how to conduct a bike tour anywhere in the world. This is my book that I wrote several years ago. And this is the book that like hundreds and thousands of people have used to plan, prepare for, and execute their own bicycle tours anywhere in the world. And in the book, I kind of talk about what I was just saying in that every bike tour is different, and there's like not one way to bike tour. And if you read other bicycle touring books or you read some other bicycle touring websites, they kind of treat bicycle touring as this like one thing. when in reality there are many, many different types of bicycle touring. And as I said before, the type of bike you ride, the gear you use, the clothing you wear, the shoes you ride in, all that kind of stuff depends on where you're going, what your goals are, and that sort of a thing. So I talk about that in the book, and I try to help you figure out which bicycle touring methods are going to be best for you. But right now it's December and Christmas time and all that kind of stuff is coming up. So I'm doing a December book deal right now, which is part of why I have so many books to mail out. But if you go to bicycletouringpro.com and /book, or you go to biketourbook.com and order the bicycle touring blueprint, if you use the coupon code December at checkout, you'll get $5 off the cost of the book, plus I will sign the paperback book for you and mail it to you myself. Like, I'm literally going to go to the post office as soon as I sign off of this video. So if you want a copy of the bicycle touring blueprint signed by me and you want it for $5 off its normal price, just go to biketourbook.com and enter the coupon code December at checkout. Okay, that's it. Let's see what other questions you guys have. Jeff says, I enjoy following you, Darren. Keep it up. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. James says, did you ever get the Dynamo Hub fitted to your CoMotion bike? What's your opinion of these? Would you use mainly for lights or charging devices? Yes, that's a good question. My new CoMotion Cycle Siskiyou touring bicycle was supposed to come with a Dynamo Hub on the front wheel, and a Dynamo Hub is a device that uses the forward momentum of your wheel to generate electricity. And a lot of these Dynamo Hubs are used to power front and rear lights, but you can also use them to charge like your smartphone or bike computer or whatever other devices you might happen to have that kind of charge through USB or something similar. If it were me, I would probably not use it for lights, because I honestly don't cycle with lights very much at all, because I try to stick to riding during the daytime. And yeah, I carry lights with me, of course, but I just don't use them all that often. So I don't think I would use the Dynamo Hub for that in any way. I would probably use it for charging my smartphone, which is something that I do use every single day that I'm on the road, and something that I'm constantly trying to keep powered. As you might have experienced, like keeping your phone charged, even when you're at home or driving to work or whatever, can sometimes be difficult. So it's even harder once you get out on a bike tour and you're completely off the grid. You know, you have to resort to either plugging your phone into a wall outlet somewhere, which can be difficult to find in many places in the world. Even if you do that, you have to sit there for an hour or two while the phone charges, which isn't fun. And the other option is to use a solar panel, which is what I've done in the past. But the Dynamo Hub is something that charges while you're cycling, which is great. Maybe the ideal thing would be to have the Dynamo Hub that charges while you're cycling, in addition to a small solar panel that you could use when you're not cycling to charge your bike lights, GoPro, smartphone, camera batteries, whatever, as well. So yeah, your question though, no, I haven't gotten the Dynamo Hub yet. I got to follow up with CoMotion about that. But yeah, hopefully I'll have that for my next trip. Mikers39 says, how do you hold your camera when riding your bike? So yeah, like if you've watched any of my Bicycle Touring Pro videos, you've seen me basically shooting myself while riding the bike, or seeing, just the camera moving. You can kind of see what I'm seeing from the camera. And the way I do it is I simply hold the camera in my hand and try to hold it as steady as possible while I'm riding. I guess now that I've been making these videos for more than 2 years, I just have a lot of practice, so I think my shots are getting a little more steady and stuff. But it also depends very much on the road surface and you know, traffic and things like that. You'll notice a lot of times that when I am recording myself, there are no cars or anything passing me, or there's very few cars passing me. And I do that on purpose. I pick the places, I wait basically to record video until there's no one around me, just for safety purposes. So that's part of the way I do it. I don't just whip out my camera at any given moment necessarily and start recording. I wait until there's a pause in the traffic, and then I start to record. So those are my tricks. I mean, the other thing too, I don't have my camera next to me right here at the moment, but if you're using like your smartphone, for example, your smartphone probably doesn't have stabilization built into it, but a lot of like point and shoot cameras nowadays, which is what I've been using recently on my bike trips to record the videos, a lot of these point and shoot cameras have stabilization built in. So that really helps to reduce a lot of that shakiness that you see in so many other people's bike videos. Excuse me. Yeah, that's how I do it. B. Devon says, hello from Ukraine. Cycling in Ukraine was a courageous decision. I hope horrible road surface isn't the only thing you remember. Best wishes from Kyiv. Yeah, I've been to Ukraine twice. I love cycling actually there. I think one of the reasons people don't go to Ukraine, one, because they think it's unsafe, maybe, but two, the roads are pretty darn terrible in some places, like potholes everywhere. But honestly, like on a bicycle, you can kind of navigate your way through those potholes pretty slowly. And the good thing about the potholes being in the road is that the cars that are coming up the road can be heard from like a mile away, because they're hitting all those potholes as they approach you, and you can hear them coming. Also, because there's so many potholes in the road, the cars are going like 25 miles an hour or slower sometimes. So yeah, in all honesty, I think the terrible roads in Ukraine actually make it like a really good bicycle touring destination. It's a bit of a pain, yeah, to swerve around some of these potholes sometimes, but I think overall it's kind of cool. I really enjoy Ukraine. I've done 2 bike tours there, and I'd love to go back and see more of the country. What? I'm reading your hello from Greece. The red saddlebags that you have, what brand are they? Those are Ortlib pannier bags. So Ortlib, yeah, and you can get them online. There's lots of places to get them. There's one website, like if you're looking for international shipping, you might want to look into, I think it's called biketourshop.com, biketourshop.com. That's like a full-blown bicycle touring shopping cart with everything, racks and lights and tents and pannier bags and handlebar bags and everything you would need, basically kickstands and all that kind of stuff. biketourshop.com. And yeah, tons of stuff there that you can get for bicycle touring, including the Ortlib pannier bags. Yeah, thanks, Marcus. Ortlib. Laris2211 says, I'm thinking of buying a full frame bag and having a rear pannier, which I already have, and going off-road touring. With that setup work? I just don't like front panniers. Yeah, that's totally fine. So basically what you're talking about doing is mixing some traditional bicycle touring techniques, the panniers on the back of your bike, with some of the newer bike packing techniques. So using a frame bag to store some of your additional belongings in. Yeah, that's totally cool. You might want to look at some of the other bike packing, like handlebar bags or something like that you could use if you need additional space. But yeah, that's a great way to do it. I think we're going to see more people in the future mixing bike packing and bicycle touring techniques kind of together, and I might be doing that on some of my future trips as well. Maury Portnoff says, hi from Montreal. Have you ever tried butterfly or trekking handlebars or Jane Loop H bars? Yes, yes, and yes. The advantage to those types of handlebars, in addition to drop handlebars, is like drop handlebars are the kind you see on like road racing bicycles. But the advantage to those types of handlebars over flat bars is that flat bars generally only give you 2 hand positions, maybe 1 usually. So you basically, like, flat bars, you only can really place your hands in this 1 position. And if you ride your bike for hours and hours each day, for days on end, this can really give you a lot of problems. What happened, I think it's called the volar nerve or something, but you pinch a nerve in your hand by riding in that position all the time. And it can cause numbness, pain, and you can actually lose the feeling in your whole arm if you pinch this thing too bad. And it happens to a lot of people who use flat handlebars because they have no other position in which to point their hands, basically, or rest their hands. So you don't want to pinch that nerve. And that's what these other handlebars, the butterfly handlebars or the trekking handlebars, the Jane H bars, all that kind of thing, they give you multiple hand positions, which allows you to move your hands around as you ride so that you don't pinch that nerve. But yeah, I personally prefer like the more traditional drop bars over like butterfly bars, for example. But that's just me personally, and I think you should kind of, use whatever you like. Like, there is a stylistic aspect to it as well. I personally don't like the H bars as much. They're okay. I think I'd prefer like a butterfly bar over the H bar. Yeah, just because of the way it feels and stuff. But again, that's just me. The important part is to have multiple hand positions. So you want a handlebar that is not going to cause you pain. That's actually going to provide you with some relief as you ride. I'm reading your comments. People saying that they hate drop handlebars. Yeah, well, one of the interesting things about touring bicycles is if you look at the touring bicycles made in America, a lot of them have drop handlebars. And if you look at the touring bikes made in Europe, almost none of them have drop handlebars. So there is a cultural sort of thing going on there, I think, personal preference sort of thing. But I also think that has a lot to do with the style of cycling that people do in America versus this type of cycling that people tend to do in places like Europe. Europe, the trips are generally shorter. Towns are closer together. Whereas in America, towns are way far apart and people are much more in like a road, position. So yeah, just depends on where you are, I think, in the world, what you're used to, that sort of thing. Michael, hey, Michael. Any snow in California for Christmas? We have about 10 inches here in Skellefteå at the moment. Have a Merry Christmas. Michael, if some of you watched my videos from Sweden this summer, Michael hosted myself, Rob, my friend Rob, Doug, and Lene during our bike trip together. We did a week-long bike trip across northern Sweden, and Michael and his family hosted us at his home, and they fed us this incredible meal and let us take a shower, which was also very much appreciated. And then the following day, we went to this adventure park together where we did a ropes course up in the trees with Michael and his kids. And then Michael took us to a lake nearby and showed us where to camp on the edge of this lake. And we had a campfire, and yeah, it was awesome. So hi, Michael. Thank you. And yeah, Merry Christmas to you too. I wish I could be there in Skellefteå to see what it's like. It's hard for me to imagine what Sweden is like in the wintertime, because I've been to Sweden 4 times, and it's always been during the summer. So it's really hard for me to imagine what it's like in the wintertime. Oldie Cycling says, AJ asked a really good question earlier about the cost of touring. Can he afford it? You have views on living like a king whilst touring. I didn't see AJ's question, so I don't really know what the question was. The cost of touring. The cost is it varies a lot, you know, depending on where you are in the world, and also like the way that you're used to living. Because I've traveled with people in the past who like they're used to staying in a hotel every night and eating out at restaurants every night and spending a lot of money doing that and not thinking anything of it. Whereas I've traveled with other people who would not spend more than $3 per day, and they wouldn't stay in a hotel if their life depended on it. Like they were going to camp and they weren't going to pay for camping. They were on a total cheapskate budget. So there's like a bunch of different ways to do it, and I've done it all those ways. I've done the $3 budget a day thing, and I've done fancier trips than that as well. So I personally like somewhere in between, I guess, where you do a little bit of camping for free and you do a little bit of hotels or something like that. I think that's kind of my ideal way of doing it. But yeah, the cost is hard to judge because I do talk about budgeting again inside the Bicycle Touring Blueprint and how to like come up with a budget for your tour. But like I said, like it's really hard for me to say like your bike tour is going to cost $25 per day or something. It's really hard for me to say that because sometimes it could be way less than that, and sometimes it could be way, way more. So it just depends. AJ, if you're watching, post your question again, and hopefully I'll see it. But Mark says, what was your favorite country for cycle touring and why? I've mentioned this before, but I really love Romania. It's just a beautiful place. There's like hardly anybody goes there. It's not touristy at all. Hotels are cheap. Like you can get a nice hotel room for $20, $25 in a lot of places. The architecture is incredible. It's like a mix of old world and new world. Like there are places like Romania is the second fastest internet in the whole world, I think. And there's a huge like tech industry there, which you would not think of really. Like, and so there's a lot of people that are like really good with computers and very intelligent and that sort of thing. And at the same time, there are people like totally living in the backcountry, still driving around on horses and wagons, you know, and that sort of thing. So it's like really a cool place. And I really enjoyed all of the cycling that I've done in Romania. Relatively like quiet roads for the most part. Beautiful scenery, like I said, nice people. I've never had anything really bad happen to me there. So yeah, I'd say Romania is probably my favorite if I had to pick one, but there are lots of good places that I've been to. I mean, Norway would be up there for sure. I really enjoyed South Africa, actually. From a cycling standpoint, I thought South Africa was amazing. From like maybe the best place I've ever been, actually. From like a would I want to live there standpoint, no, I didn't really enjoy South Africa at all. But yeah, those are some places that I would recommend if you're interested in that sort of a thing. Too many questions. The other thing, guys, if you're watching, that I wanted to mention was the fact that I just released a survey on the Bicycle Touring Pro website. So if you go to bicycletouringpro.com/survey, you'll see this questionnaire that I've created. The last I checked, about 400 people had already filled it out. So if we could get it up to 500, that would be awesome. But basically, I'm trying to figure out what I can do to improve Bicycle Touring Pro in the future and make it better. I started Bicycle Touring Pro, the website, in 2007. And I was bicycle touring for 7 years or so before I started the website. So Bicycle Touring Pro, the business or the service that I provide, has now been in operation for over 10 years. And I just want to make it better. So the survey, if you could fill it out, would really help me to figure out what I can do in the future to make Bicycle Touring Pro a whole lot better. I'm going to type in the link to the survey here in the chat. There it is. It's bicycletouringpro.com/survey. And it's also in the video description down below. So if you want to click that link, there's 3 links down below this video. One link is for the new mini bike tour video from Prescott, Arizona. Make sure you watch that after this is over. Then the link under that is for the reader survey to help me improve Bicycle Touring Pro. Basically, I want to better get to know who you are and how I can serve you in the future. And then finally, the last link down there is for those of you who want to get a copy of my book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint, with the December book deal, where you enter the coupon code December, you'll get the book for $5 off, and I'll sign it for you and mail it to you hopefully in time for the holidays. So yeah, biketourbook.com, coupon code December. What else? Just totally non-related here. I just ordered this book as a gift for my uncle, but it's Alistair Humphrey's book, Micro Adventures. Some of you may have seen this or read this already, but Alistair is a friend of mine from the UK. He's an adventurer who spent 4 years riding his bike around the world, and he's got 2 incredible books about his bike tour. Cyclist James says 404 air. I don't know. Hold on 1 second. I'm checking to see if the link is good. It worked for me. James, click on the link below the video, not the one I typed in the chat. Whenever I put a link in the chat, it doesn't work for some reason. Anyways, so this is a book all about conducting mini adventures. And Alistair's like really encouraging you to do stuff close to your home, that there's adventures right in your backyard that maybe you aren't even aware of. And it's a photo book. I don't know if you can see this. So there's lots and lots of pictures in here from Alistair's adventures all around the world. Most of these are in the UK. But he's got bike trips and hiking trips and boat trips and canoe trips and raft trips and I don't know, walking trips and all sorts of things. So if you're looking for a good gift for the holidays, I would check out this book, Micro Adventures. So you might even be a gift for yourself. You can get it on Amazon. But the Bicycle Touring Blueprint would make a good gift as well. So you get the 2 books together perhaps. But there they are, Micro Adventures. Just another book I thought I'd throw out and recommend if you haven't heard of it. And the reason, the reason I brought this up as well is because I just finished a 2.5 month long van trip / bike tour across the American Southwest, where I did a bunch of mini bike tours. Like I said, to kind of demonstrate the fact that like you don't need a lot of time in order to conduct a long distance, to conduct a bike tour. You just need a few days. And that's exactly the sort of message that Alistair is promoting in this book. So check it out, Micro Adventures by Alistair Humphreys. Okay. Some people were saying the links didn't work to the survey. It's bicycletouringpro.com/survey. For whatever reason, when I type it in, any link into the chat box, it makes it go to an error page. But if anywhere else, it works. So bicycletouringpro.com/survey. Jonathan says you should come to the Midwest. Minneapolis, Minnesota is a fantastic place to ride. I would like to come there. I'm just not sure when. It's my timing and everything. And it's so far away from California, where I am kind of serving as my home base at the moment. So yeah, Richie says the survey is working fine for him. Antonio says, I wish you happy holidays. Hope to see you out on the road one day. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, I just wanted to do a live hello and happy holidays from Southern California. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, check out my new bicycle touring video down below. The reader survey is there. And if you want to pick up a copy of my book, The Bicycle Touring Blueprint, and get it in time for Christmas or the holidays, just go to biketourbook.com, enter the coupon code December. You got to do this before Friday too, by the way. enter the coupon code December at checkout. You'll save $5 off the cost of the book, and I will send you a signed copy as well. The $5 discount applies to the ebook as well. So if you want to get the ebook, it's $5 off the normal price if you use the coupon code December. But if you order the paperback book, I'll send you a signed copy of the book, and I'm writing kind of personal messages inside of each book as well. So, all right, guys, that's it. Hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you out on the road sometime soon. Bye, guys.